And we're back. Between episodes, I looked up where Rock Smash is because
We're gonna need it.
yeah.
And I'm in this battle, just being crazy.
This isn't where I need.
Mm-mm.
I can't even remember. Like, I got so I don't know, wrapped up in complaining about these VR games and their lack of anime titties that I can't remember what I was doing. So,
And even though, guys, we have a lack of anime titties, push that subscribe button, will you? That'd really help us a lot. We appreciate you guys being here and the support you give. Thank you so much.
I mean, that's one thing. Like, it's inevitable that those sorts of games, and you all know the ones I'm talking about, would exist in VR.
Yeah.
I mean, they're easy to make and they're going to make money. So
It's
and you know, it's kind of not fun, but easy to make fun of. Especially when you're expecting a game like another game, slightly subpar, you know, slightly less in its policy, slightly less in its quality, and just with anime titties, like that's the kind of thing that I was expecting with a Crazy Alchemist. That's not what I got, which just goes to show, like,
yeah.
there are a lot of good VR games though.
I could imagine there's some really great ones.
I want to talk about them. I think VR is starting to come into its own.
Pick up a little steam.
HTC Vive recently released a wireless, I guess, mod to the headset, which
That's awesome.
yeah, I'm probably gonna get.
That's awesome. You need to. You need to.
Because that's my chosen headset.
Ooh, low long, my man. Oh, you would spike that, wouldn't you? Go ahead.
I was waiting for you.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, this is Alan. He called me earlier and was like, "Hey, want to fight again?" So guess what? I'm kicking Alan's ass again.
Trying to learn bite. Yes. Yes.
But yeah, there's a lot of good VR games, and the wireless adapter for the HTC Vive is what I mean. The Oculus is the competitor. It's kind of like the Nintendo and the Sony. Oculus doesn't really have a wireless option yet. They have a kind of a lower end headset that's wireless that's going to be coming out.
Right.
Like all self-contained, just a headset that you put on, no computer needed.
That would be unreal, man.
It takes a really beefy computer to handle VR.
It has to.
My computer is crazy good. But some VR games, it kind of has a little bit of trouble.
Which says a lot.
Yeah. But, like, I think eventually, once the technology starts to pick up, and people will like it more.
Yeah.
I think right now one of the biggest problems with VR is a lot of the games are very tech demo. They're like what you saw in the early days of the Wii.
Yeah, because, I remember when the Wii came out, I got one. They were so hard to get. And I saw this stat. I don't know if it still is standing, but the most played or sold game was the Wii Sports that came with it. I was like, what? I remember playing Twilight Princess on it, and I liked it.
Yeah.
Wii. But yeah, I see what you're saying about being tech demoing and stuff. So it was that guy.
Yeah, this guy.
All right.
So now I can return to the round tower.
Nice.
So, like even the most gamey games that I have, on VR are kind of, there's still a little tech demo. I think budget cuts is probably one of the most game-like games that I have on the system.
Oh, I thought you were going somewhere else with that and you said budget cuts. I thought you were going to say like,
oh no,
I think budget cuts are the reason why the games are more tech demo. And I was like, well, I guess
there's a game called Budget Cuts.
Oh,
it's kind of interesting. The premise is you work for a company in the near future, and most of your coworkers are robots because they
budget cuts.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the premise. Is your people, like humans, keep getting called to go to HR, and then they're just never seen again. And within the next few days, a robot has taken their place.
Yeah.
So you're kind of getting to the bottom of that.
That sounds pretty cool, actually.
Well, and it's like the game starts off, and you get called to HR, and so you're trying to make your way to the building, and it's kind of like Metal Gear Solid almost. It's a very stealth-based game.
Otacon.
Yeah. You don't really. Your weapons are. You can find some knives a little later in the game, but your weapons are mostly just office supplies. So, which is neat. Like you throw a pair of scissors at a robot that's coming at you with a gun, and you hit them just right in the eye, and like oil spurts everywhere, and they flail around and then fall on the ground. And if you try to pick up their gun, it just won't pick up. Like you're not.
Yeah.
Like it.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So this is one of the ones you're going to do on the.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I've already played almost all the way through. I'm kind of having the same problem with budget cuts though that I'm having with Duck Season. Can't seem to beat it.
What's the deal, Pickle?
So, Duck Season is.
It's like horror, but nostalgic. You said.
Yeah, it's this weird mix of nostalgia and horror. Budget cuts gets really overwhelming right at the end, and it's a little more than I can manage to handle.
I got you.
It also kind of becomes a horror game in the end. I
kind of got that feel.
Yeah, I don't want to give any spoilers, but it's very stressful.
Yeah. Well, clearly you're getting called to HR in the beginning.
yeah, I know. That's stressful enough.
I
don't even want to go there. But wait, is this Eurotrack or did I just go to the wrong?
You're Eurotrack.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's a really fun game playing through it. And I'm not the kind of person that wants to give a review of a game that I haven't.
Right. Because it's not true. It's not a true review.
Right. I mean, the thing with budget cuts, and to a certain extent, hold on, let me think about.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, I'll get real okay.
So what? Go ahead.
Well,
go ahead.
To a lesser extent, Duck Season. The game changes so much right at the end that really giving a review, and this may sound like I'm trying to weasel my way out of like beating the game, but
you weasel.
So giving a review of the game, 98% of the game is one way, and people are moving furniture again for the 90th time this week. Anyway,
it's got to be just right.
Yeah,
it's just right.
90% of the game is one way, and then the very last bit is almost like playing a different game.
Wow.
Duck Season. It's a horror game, but it's not overt horror. It's very subtle.
Right.
Until the last bit.
Then it's just so intense. It's like,
yeah,
what?
It's like it suddenly just goes and then just boom, spikes. Like I can deal with the horror going on
like steady
through most of the game, and then right at the end, it's
that sounds rough.
it reminds me of some things that I've experienced in the past, and I have trouble with that. So, but oh, good, an HP up. Budget cuts kind of does the same thing, and like I said, I don't really want to give spoilers in just a random video.
Yeah,
I'll probably talk about it because I will do a review of budget cuts.
I'm gonna hold him accountable.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make sure he does it.
And a review of Duck Season. Like I said, I may not be able to beat them, but
yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I've tried. Several times I've tried both. It's just it might be worth pointing out that the game changes drastically right at the end in both circumstances.
Right.
Not quite as much in budget cuts, because you're still doing like stealth kind of,
right?
But it's not really stealth. Because I'll give this part away. It's a final boss fight. And from the moment you set foot on the floor that this final boss is at, he knows you're there. Which in a stealth game,
that's yeah.
He knows you're there. He may not exactly know where you are.
Exactly, but he knows you're in there.
He knows you're in there.
Or what,
and once he sees you, it's actually really good AI. It has really good it seems like it has a really good kind of idea of tracking you. Like, it's able to keep up with you. Like, oh, he teleported over there. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, he jumped in that vent. I know where that vent goes, and so when you come out of the vent, he's standing there waiting on you. And it's
dang. That's brutal, man.
Yeah. So
that's brutal.
It's less about slow, plotting, methodical, thinking things through. Maybe I can get through this without having to kill any guards kind of thing.
And then it turns into just...
It turns into sort of a race, almost.
Right.
Because the boss fight, you can't hurt him. He has a weakness that I don't want to give away. But you can trick him, and there's a room that you can lock him in. Like, this much I figured out. There's a room that if you shut the door, he can't get out of. The problem is tricking him to be in that room, and then the other room, there's another room like on the other side of the floor that has the control to the door.
Yeah, so he knows where you're at. You have to trick him to go into that room and then get your butt over there. And
yeah, so it's a real kind of...
That sounds... Are there any time constraints or anything like that?
Not really any time constraints, but if you mess up, it's just one hit death. So, which is another...
brutality.
Yeah. And I another thing, and it's something that most video games you can't really express, but this boss is big, intimidating, and scary. And
you're making me want to play this, even though it's brutal sounding.
Yeah, it's kind of like
sounds like Metal Gear Solid on roids, man.
Yeah. Which most of the enemies in the game are big, and intimidating, and kind of scary. Because most of them are robots. They're there's two robots in budget cuts. There's the worker robots that are kind of portly and just kind of they kind of look like Marvin the
Martian.
No, Marvin the chronically depressed robot from the movie version of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay. Guys, don't kill me. I've never seen that movie. I haven't.
Well, just big heads, kind of.
Yeah.
Then there's the security robots, which the security robots look like what you would picture a security robot.
Yeah.
Big, tall, intimidating, kind of have like a security camera.
Yeah.
You know, like if they see you, their eye turns red, that kind of thing.
I could picture it.
And they're
oh man, and he's done.
Yep. they're not super, like, by the time you get further in the game, they're not super intimidating anymore,
right?
Because you probably either, you know, they're kind of dumb, so you've either outsmarted them or killed a bunch of them,
or upgraded to the point where they're not really a threat.
There's no really upgrade.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So, and that's actually one thing I like in the game is you have, on one hand, it can be either hand, a gun that you teleport to.
Mm-hmm.
You, wherever you shoot, it teleports, but it doesn't do it instantly. So you shoot a ball, and then it creates kind of like a window to that location.
Okay.
Which in a stealth game is really great because you can shoot around the corner and look through the window and kind of see.
Mm-hmm.
Thing is, it's a two-way window. So if you shoot the ball around the corner and look through the window and there's a robot there looking at you, it sees you, and then it's smart enough to figure out that you're around the corner. So
that's awesome. I'm gonna have to get me a VR set.
You press another button to teleport to it, or you hold the button down for a little bit and you stealthily kind of pass through the portal. Your other hand, you manipulate items. So there's just regular items you can throw to kind of distract things. You know, knock robots over, knock robots out. And then there's sharp objects. And sharp objects, when you throw them, if you hit a robot, it'll kill them. Pretty.
Yeah.
The security robots, you have to hit them just right. Or, like, if you hit them in the arm, their arm will bleed, and they'll kind of lay there and complain for a minute, and then they'll get up and, you know, pull the gun with their other arm and try to shoot you. But it makes a kind of, you're fighting these security, like, they're basically military grade robots with office supplies, scissors, letter openers, like anything you can find to get your hands on.
A letter opener. Was it the shape of a sword?
No, just a like I think I threw a cassette tape at one once just because I happened to have one.
Yeah.
But you can hold so many items, and you have to get key cards and stuff too, and that takes up your inventory as well. Right. So your inventory, like you press the button to bring it up, and they appear in front of you. You have a limited inventory, so you have to kind of pick and choose what you're going to use. And I like that. You never really get any upgrades. You never, like, you may find something that's nice,
right?
But that's kind of the one of the things of the game is it's not super complex, but it's mostly focused on the stealth, the sneaking around, the
right,
and the puzzle solving, because there's a lot of puzzles to solve.
Oh, I may not be able to play that one, honestly.
Well, it's Metal Gear puzzles.
Oh, okay.
I need this key card. Where is this key card? Let me look through these person's files and see, okay, this file says that this employee had a key card. Okay. So let me look through the directory. Oh, they're here at this desk. So you make your way to that desk and you're like, shit, another person's name tag is here. And then you see on the sticky note that they've traded desks. You're like, fuck. And so you have to go to another part of the office. Like, it's
I got you.
Yeah, it's Metal Gear in a big office.
Right.
Like, the story is okay, but
Metal Gear.
That's probably the gamiest game that I have on VR right now.
Oh.
Well, I have a few other games. They kind of feel like tech demos. I recently got what is it? I Expect You to Die, which is very like,
that's nice,
60s spy cliche kind of,
like James Bond,
sort of. Yeah. Probably gonna play that one at some point. review it, just because it's really well done. Still kind of feels like a tech demo.
What are those you're about to fight?
I'm not about to fight them. They're the legendary trio: Sukun,
Oh.
Intai, and Raikou.
Hey, maybe you can spend a crap ton of
Pokeballs to try to
and still only catch it with
yeah.
use
Just gonna throw 80 Great Balls at it, or Ultra Balls.
yeah, and catch it with a Pokeball.
Yeah.
I felt your pain when you were telling me that story. I was like, oh.
That's one of the deals with Pokemon Go, though. It's not like you can weaken them or do anything to increase your chance. You can give them a fucking berry, but I have my theories on the berries. I think the berries, like, except for the Pinette berry or Pinette berry or however you say it, in Pokemon Go, don't actually fucking do anything.
Mm-hmm.
They just say they do to take up, like, so you keep them, so they take up bag space, so they can sell bag space upgrades.
Right. And then the minute you get rid of them, they're like, oh, you need those.
Yeah.
So you gotta buy some bag space. Well, I think I'm about to get the next gym badge.
Really?
Yeah, I'm fighting the boss right now. The gym leader.
I've just been farting around and,
I learned a very nice move with a Lolong called Bite
yep.
that just eats Ghost up.
So, I've been trying to level up, I don't think I have anyone that knows Bite.
And that Ghost type is doing nothing to Lolong. He's like laughing. See? That's it. I'm telling you, man, there's some... Lolong almost got killed by one of the trainers on the way up. He has a level 22 or 23 Haunter.
Okay.
And it was pretty brutal. It was hitting him for 20 HP every time he did Nightshade.
I would very much like to get Psychic move on...
Receive the Fog Badge.
Slaw.
Excuse me, Fog Badge! By having Fog Badge, Pokemon up to level 50 will obey you. Also,
right.
Pokemon that know Surf will be able to use that move anytime. I want you to have this too. TM30. What is that? I forgot they gotta put in music.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Shadow Ball. This guy's move.
Yep.
Reduces special defense. Use it as it appeals to you. Okay, and I'm out. I'm out.
I guess I'll take on the gym just because I've been farting around in the burn tower.
Well, I'm about to go do what you did. I'm about to go back and get Rock Smash, and
yeah.
So we'll be back,
Back and forth.
on track with each other. So when you said, I think that's a Psychic Gym, I was like, I need to go in there and look because I'm screwed.
I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
But I think Dark is strong in Psychic too, right?
Right.
Yes. Lolong, you the man. You're the man. I love you. Love you. He's level 24 now. Take a seat, sir. You've burned it. Okay.
I was wanting to learn a decent.
Nice.
I was hoping to learn Lick. That way I could lick the gas.
But your gas doesn't have Lick?
No, Bonsai. I used Mimic.
Oh.
So.
I get what you're saying. I'm my bad. I was like,
no.
It knows Lick. Yeah, it's just Ghastlies and Haunters, man. And then one Gengar. That's a level 25 Gengar that he has.
Okay.
The gym leader.
I can probably take this on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more about just having strong types. Even if it's not necessarily super effective.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Oh, it's you. Listen, buddy. I want that.
You cleared the tray here. I was planning on eating it later, but you can
Oh, I slobbered on it a little bit. And I'm teaching that to Machop. Rock, it's fighting, so
yeah,
it'll work. So pack, that was Rock Smash.
Yeah, I know I've been kind of on a ramble about VR, but
it's really awesome.
yeah, if y'all want to see, like I said, I'm working on some episodes. I've been kind of writing them. They're going to be different than what we normally do.
Mm-hmm.
But if y'all have any games you particularly want me to review, in VR, I'll do them. I'm struggling with duck season because of its horror elements. I'm kind of, like I said, I'm kind of struggling with budget cuts at the end because of its kind of horror atmosphere. Which is weird because
that's usually your forte, but VR is such a different beast.
It's hard to explain.
I get it.
But
I get it.
I mean, horror movies, games, books, none of that's ever given me a problem.
Speaking of which, I'm sorry. I know Karl loves Lovecraft. So I saw this article today. It was hilarious. I don't know who wrote it. And it said, enough with the Lovecraft. And I was like, what? Is talking about how most media, video games, there's a lot of stuff nowadays that pulls from Lovecraft so much. And this person was like, please, enough. Give it a break, you know? And this really got me, dude. He said, the best game that I can tell you... Actually, you know what? I'm going to pull a little... You guys are going to have to find out and watch the next episode which game that was. But anyways, there is a game that you had mentioned before, and something else we had talked about, where they said this game is the perfect game of taking Lovecraft elements and doing it well. And like, if you can't do that, don't make them anymore.
Right.
And I was shocked when I saw that because I would have never known that game, but I was like, what?
Well, I guess with that, we'll go ahead and end the episode and
I'll tell you next time.
Hanger. So
so make sure you come back. We'll tell you. Make sure you stay in touch with our Twitter. Thank you so much, guys.
Have a good one.